This week feels like it could have been taken right out of the movie Groundhog Day. Wake up to a snowstorm, drive to the ranch, fix the plow truck, plow the road. Wake up, drive to the ranch, fix the plow truck, plow the road. Sometimes the mundane must be done in the process of moving forward. Most of the time it's not fun, most of the time it's not enjoyable, but these things have to be done. This is the life we chose. This is where we chose to live it. Put your head down and move forward.
Don't do it. That. Don't do it. You stay?
As far as my dog Ruger is concerned, the day starts the same. I wake up, I feed him. He looks at me, wants to know when we're leaving. He gets in my truck, lays down, takes a nap. About the time I turn onto the dirt road that goes to the ranch, he wakes up, stands up, goes on point, looks for birds, and then right as we approach the gate, he acts like he's done something wrong, and he goes for a run every morning. I used to yell at him, trying to keep him from taking off, and I think this is part of his behavior now. But he oftentimes runs right back down the road where we came from to a spot on the road where one time he found a dead pheasant. He's usually gone a couple of hours. It seems like the older he gets, the shorter the trips are. I know I need to have a fire going for him for when he comes back. And about the time he shows up, I usually start looking out the window. I think he's got me trained better than I've got him trained. The radiator on the plow truck gave out. Rather than finding a used radiator at the scrapyard, I decided to just buck up and buy a new one. Took me a couple of hours to get it installed. Once I got it installed, I cleaned up a whole bunch of wet, sloppy snow. The maple trees around the ranch are sagging and in some cases breaking. But I got the road clear. Now I can work on the house. Before putting the insulation in, I want to take care of the electrical. Before we decided to do the addition, the plan was to put the water softener and water heater under the stairs. The good news is, by pulling the wire out and flipping it over to the utility room, it's just about the same distance away. I will have to move the plumbing as well in the very near future, but I'm trying to get all the electrical done. I feel like there's only a little bit left to do on the electrical, so I'm going to get focused on that and try and call for the inspection later next week. The first wire I pulled over was the designated power wire for the water softener. My plan is to put the water softener closest to where the water supply comes in, which is in the corner of the utility room. There will be a couple of inline filters before it gets to the water softener. The second line that I pulled over is for the tankless water heaters that I'll be installing. I've tried to lay out the water softener and the water heaters in the most practical way before they tie into the rest of the existing plumbing. I haven't had to buy a whole lot of the materials needed for the electrical on the addition. I had a number of can lights left over as well as some wire. I'm trying to make use of what I have and figuring out if I need to go purchase anything else. There's really not much left to do. I should be able to get it tied up here pretty quick. I've decided to go ahead and just button up the last little bit of electrical before I slap the insulation in. As far as the can lights, things like that, it's just going to be way easier to do that now before I put the Roxol in. So I feel like Monday morning I'll be able to get the last little bit of the addition portion done. I still need to wire the upstairs attic lights. It's actually, the box is there and the wires to it. I just got to tie into it and run it down to both ends of the house. And then I need to put the motion sensor, I've decided to, or floodlights, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to wire all four corners of the house to have some sort of a motion sensor slash floodlight, something that we can control if we need to. And that's basically it. Then I just have to go back to every box, every junction box, and connect the grounds and strip the wire and then tuck it in the box, and then I'm ready for the inspection. And I think I will probably call my buddy Luke and have him come up here and look things over before I do that. And I do need to get a main shutoff for the outside of the house as well. But I think that's it. And just to get that electrical, if I really am that close to being done, that just confirms that there's really not much left to do besides the plumbing. I'm not as worried about the plumbing as I am about the electrical for some reason. But anyway, I'll finish framing up the bedroom wall. I need to frame up all the closets still, which won't take me but maybe a day or so to do up in the bedroom, in the two bedrooms. And then I've got to move this wall downstairs where the small half bath was going to be. Now we're going to make that wall flat. And that's basically it. So I think things are moving forward. I'm happy with the progress that's being made. Once I get that wired up there in the utility room, I think I'm going to go through all my tools here and clean up a little bit and try and get this a little bit more organized. I've got to think that just having it more organized is also going to create a little bit more of a positive energy. I can remember when I had my plumbing company that how much better and how much more efficient I worked when my truck was clean. But anyway, that's not one of my strong habits. I prefer to just work and clean up later. But anyway, actually I used to have apprentices that would clean up for me. But anyway, it was a good week altogether. Plow truck's doing good. Now that I got that radiator changed on the plow truck, it's running. It doesn't even get warm now. Before it was getting fairly warm fairly quick. But I'm hoping that thing doesn't nickel and dime me to death. It seems to be doing good, and it's definitely making the road quite a bit wider. I just walked up on the hill, on this east hill that doesn't get a whole lot of direct sunlight, and there's over 3 feet of snow. I sank down to my ankles. There's at least 3 feet of snow, maybe even a little bit more than that, which it's been a couple of years since we had this much snow up here. So this is again a good reference point to recognize what we will potentially have to deal with. So first part of next week, I'll get up here and get the framing done, get the electrical done, and I bet by the end of the week I can have the plumbing done as well, and maybe get both inspections in the next week to 10 days.